Sorry to startle you with a loud noise. That was kind of obnoxious. But seriously, I wanted to get your attention because do you know what's in your ductwork in your home? You'd be surprised. Welcome back to another episode of Mr. Fix the Realtor. I'm Zach Lipson with the Jason Martin Group, and I want to show you what I just recently had done on my house. I just had my ductwork cleaned, and I live in a house that was built in 1940, and I never had my ducts cleaned before. I've lived in the house only a few years, so I didn't give it much thought. What I know now after having cleaned it blows my mind that I lived in a house with ductwork that dirty. So I want to take you through what the process is. They bring in a negative air pressure device, which actually functions as a vacuum. Then they hook that up to the main trunks of the ductwork. The supply is what blows the air out, the return is what pulls the air in, and in turn it keeps a constant flow of air. So what they did was they cut some holes into the main trunks of the ductwork, as you see in the photo here, and they put in a large 8-inch tube that was connected to the negative air pressure system that basically works as a large vacuum. They do the supply first or then the return after. While they're doing this, they start from the top down. They went ahead and pulled off the vent covers and cleaned the vent covers, then take a drill connected to a long piece that has a mechanism that spins around and cleans out all the dust and debris that's in your ductwork, and it's whipping around at a pretty fast speed, so it loosens that all up. And you can see here, it starts to go airborne, and the idea of it, the negative pressure, is that it sucks it back in versus it all coming out. They're sucking out any of the loose dust that they can on their end before they will actually in turn go back downstairs to the basement of the home with a lower level, where they will then run along the main trunks, because they were only doing the branches before, and they will then run that all the way up and suck everything else out. What we found in doing mine was that the house was, as he said, filthy. It was built in 1940, so there's a lot left to be done there. One of the reasons why I ultimately decided I want to get my ductwork cleaned was because, one, I noticed a lot of dust in the air and just dust gathering in the house at kind of an unusually fast pace, to which I discovered there was dust blowing out of the vents. So for one, kind of makes a mess. That type of dust in the air is not good for you. Now, cleaning your ductwork out is not necessarily going to make your air cleaner. There are other devices designed to kind of zap particles, things like that. This is not done with that intention, but this also increases the airflow and overall efficiency of your HVAC system, because when you have more resistance from dust, whether it be a little or a lot, it's harder for the air to move upward or out where it needs to go. So ultimately, you are in turn extending the life of your system and making sure it doesn't run harder than it needs to, and hopefully reducing your electric bill. And most importantly, just the peace of mind, knowing that the ductwork is no longer dirty. Had I known how dirty my ductwork was, I would have done this the day I moved in. Unfortunately, this is something that people often overlook, because out of sight, out of mind. We don't do home inspections that show what's in the ductwork. Unless you've got a new construction where you've seen everything go in, you don't know what is lurking behind your walls, or in this case, in your ductwork. For other great tips, contractors to use, home improvement ideas, or anything related to home or real estate, please contact me. All my information is right here, and be sure to subscribe.